Thanks so much for joining us for another edition of the Daily Racing Form Weekend Preview. I am Gino Buccola alongside Alexa Zepp. Alexa, the summer racing meets are coming to an end, but we still have a busy edition of our episode this week.
Yeah, we do. It's a big weekend, even though it's a bittersweet weekend because it's closing weekend at Del Mar. But they're going out with a bang. They have four graded stakes this weekend. And it's also the last weekend for the very unique 2 week season at Kentucky Downs. And they have 12 races tomorrow. Half of them are graded stakes races, and every single one of those graded stakes races has $2 million on the line. So there's a crazy amount of money on the line. I'm stoked. I live a couple hours away. I'm going to head down there, witness the elite day of racing and try to make some money. But let's start it off with deep diving one of the big races at Del Mar, the Grade 1 debutante.
Yeah, that's going to be race number 4 on Saturday. So for our second segment, we'll look at the early pick 5 at Del Mar, which this race is race number 4 of that 5-race sequence. But Alexa, we'll get things started in the Del Mar debutante from the inside with the number 1 Proud Starlet. She showed some speed in her debut, and that's the only race we've seen for her. Talk a little bit about how you think her chances are in this race.
Yeah, like you said, we've only seen her one time. These are 2-year-olds, so we don't have a lot to go off with any of these horses, but she did go to the lead and never looked back. Timeform US has her with the fastest early pace rating in the race with a 126. I do think she's going to need to take a big step forward to compete with the big favorite Noonie, who has the same running style. So that's tough when you have two horses who are really going to want that lead.
Yeah, I think that's a real key to this race too, and the where they're drawn, right? Because Proud Starlet is the 1, and Noonie, who we'll talk about next, is the number 2. Proud Starlet in her career debut, she also drew the rail, and she had to push through the inside. So we've seen her do this before, but when you have a lot of speed to the outside, it's going to be a very tough task for Proud Starlet. As we take a look at Noonie, who is the morning line favorite, and Noonie will try to give Bob Baffert an 11th Del Mar debutante win. Yes, he's won this race 10 times. I believe he's won the Futurity 17 times, which is going to go on Sunday. Absurd when you just talk about some of those numbers. Noonie is 2 for 2, Alexa. She's undefeated. So she's the horse to beat, no doubt. But when you just look at the way this field shapes up, Proud Starlet is quick. Horse like Vodka with the Twist can also show some speed. Night Beacon is also quick. Noonie could have some company up front.
She should have some company up front. I also want to kind of set the stage for who Noonie is here because there are really high expectations for this horse. So I buy racehorses, and in my experience, as like kind of a general guide, you'll see horses go for prices maybe 5, 10 times their stud fee. And Noonie's by Win Win Win, who stands for $5,000 and is a freshman sire, meaning this is the first year any of his progeny is hitting the racetrack. So he's unproven. But Noonie, this is why it's so astonishing that Noonie sold for $1.8 million. So there had to be something so elite, so exceptional about her physical or her work in that sale to bring that kind of price. And now she's backed it up with those two great races, when she went to the lead and never looked back. So she's definitely going to be the one to beat and has a lot of hopes riding on it.
And when you talk about horses at this point in their career, when they're young 2-year-olds, it's like that teenager that's really
Yeah.
precocious. They're growing up. Maybe they're like a little ahead of everybody else. That's where Noonie is right now. So you're pointing out they saw this ability at the sales with this
Mhm.
horse who didn't have much of a proven pedigree to buy.
Right.
So she was just that breathtaking early in the mornings, and what they saw at the sales. So she is a horse who right now just is a little farther along than most of this group, and we can understand why she's favored in the Del Mar debutante on Saturday. The number 3, So There She was a winner on August the 10th. And what's a positive about her, Alexa, when I look at some of the young horses, I always like seeing horses that are proven to come from off
Mhm.
the pace a little bit, horses that
Yeah.
have shown us they can pass. And that's what we've seen with her. She showed that she can sit off. She was sitting about 4th or 5th in her win, and she passed horses. So I always take that as a big positive.
That is a big positive, and it's, my one note about her, the best thing going for her here, because there's going to be such a contentious pace. It's going to benefit her to sit behind the leaders and make that late advance. At the same time, she's already lost to a couple that are running in here, and her speed figures haven't really been improving a whole lot. So I think this is going to be a really tough spot for. So
Completely
there she
agree.
was.
Yeah, she's just gonna have to improve off of what we've seen from her
Yes.
before. A real intriguing horse in here is Vodka with the Twist, the number 4, because while she was defeated by Nooney previously, it was just a field of 4. It was a race where Nooney got the lead. There wasn't much pressure in there. Night Beacon was supposed to be one of the other speeds, and Night Beacon had a slow start. So while Vodka with the Twist was second, I still thought she ran pretty well against Nooney. It'll all come down to the race shape. Can, Vodka with the Twist maybe be a horse that's sitting off? If someone else can go and do a little bit of the dirty work and soften Nooney up a little bit, I could see Vodka with a Twist maybe sitting behind and picking up some pieces here. So I did like that she showed us she can come from off the pace a little bit. And with the 4 races, she has a nice foundation. She's the most experienced runner in the field, and that could go a long way with some of these young horses.
You're right. Experience means a whole lot in these races. I'm a little concerned about her in here. I know the 2 races she has won, she's gone straight to the lead and wired the field. So, with Nooney and Proud Starlet being speed horses, I'm concerned that she does want that early coveted spot. But also, if you look at her time from US pace figures, which show how fast she was going at different points throughout the race, in the last race, she was speeding up, like you said, as the race progressed. So, this race is a little bit longer. So that's a plus for her, in my opinion. She should be able to sustain that longer run. I just don't know if she's going to catch Nooney.
And you can see the workouts with some of these horses in the mornings at xbtv.com, a place where you can check out a lot of these horses training. This is a horse that they've actually been showing working from off of other rivals a little bit. So they're
Okay.
training her to come from off the pace, and they're trying to really make her a better horse, not necessarily just worry about winning some of these races. So I think as these
Mhm.
races keep getting longer, they're doing a real nice job with her. Let's move to Night Beacon, who won her career debut. But then when she was in the Sorrento against Nooney, against Vodka with the Twist, she just wasn't as quick as them early, and she kind of missed her spot. She didn't
Yeah.
really get to run her race that day. I don't know how good she is, Alexa, but I'm feeling confident that they're going to try to get her more forward again and just try really hard to get her closer to the pace this time.
I think so too. I mean, that's what she's shown us so far that she likes. Like you said, she couldn't hang in the Sorrento. She just didn't handle that race very well. She looked kind of uncomfortable, looked a bit green. Like you said, missed her position. For me, I need to see more from her before I'm willing to bet her at this level of competition.
Absolutely agree. Maybe
Yeah.
she can have like a little say in the race, making
Yeah.
things difficult for Nooney. But as far as winning this race, we'll have to see it. Alexa, I thought the two real interesting closers in here were drawn to the outside. The
Yeah.
first one of them was Tenma, and this is another Bob Baffert trainee. So Baffert has probably the speed of the speed and maybe the strongest closer in here with Tenma. This is not a horse that he was really expecting to win first time out. This horse didn't get bet very much, which all Bafferts get bet, and she did not show
Mhm.
very much early speed, which all Bafferts show early speed. So she really does look like a distance type horse. She came running late. So seeing her go from 5.5 to 7 furlongs, I feel like this trip, the way the race shapes up, everything should fit her very well on Saturday.
I completely agree. This is Tenma is my top selection in the race. Like you said, Baffert's won this race 10 times, so he knows what it takes and he's put her in here. Um, she won that race by a neck and had the time from US speed figure of 98, which is the same figure that Nooney had her first out. So we could see the same kind of improvement from a Baffert horse in that second start. And like you said, the pace absolutely sets up for her. They also spent 850 grand on her, so clearly high expectations that I think she'll be able to achieve.
Rounding out the field is Jack's Magic Girl. She was a debut winner, but that was going long on the turf. So, a big positive for her is she actually has a victory going longer than anyone else in the field. When we're talking about fitness, she might be a horse that can be passing other horses late. Alexa, I just have to see it from her on the dirt. While she's been fine in the mornings, I'm not sure if she's quite proven enough yet against this group.
Yeah, I'm not going to use her in here, but I'm not actually that concerned about the switch to dirt because her Sarga Magic has better win percentages for his offspring on the dirt than for turf. Her trainer also wins 31% of the time when making that shift with an over $2 ROI. So that doesn't concern me a whole lot. I just think she's a bit of a wild card. There's some upside, but since I've been mentioning stud fees and how that's relevant, her sire stud fee is 125,000 and she only sold for 100 grand. So I do think there was something pretty undesirable about her to sell for less than that price.
For us, selections in the debutante, I'm going to go to the 4672. I'll put vodka with a twist on top. 6214 for Alexa in the debutante. We'll talk pick five in our next segment right here on the weekend preview.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingsham to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingsham, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away for a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton, who's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on cue.
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Should take out the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot on the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match.
14.
Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the jockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
Time for the pick five party. In this segment, we will go through a pick five sequence at Del Mar. So Del Mar Saturday races 1 through pick 5. It's like a 5-team parlay. I know a lot of you are looking at the football games for this weekend. It's NFL season starting out. College football started off last weekend. Alexa, what we will do, we'll go through the first 5 races at Del Mar. We'll pick a couple horses in most of the races, and then as we add horses, our ticket gets more expensive. So it's a little different than a traditional parlay because we don't exactly know what our ticket will pay out. It just depends on the prices we get along the way. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get some big prices along the way. Why don't you start us off and talk about a couple of the horses in race number 1 on Saturday at Del Mar?
Yeah, race 1 is a baby races for 2-year-olds. So don't have a whole lot again to go off with a lot of these horses, which is why you'll see on the pace projector, it'll say not enough data to predict the early pace because we don't know how these horses are going to set up at the beginning of the race. But I like number 4, Mark the Money Man, 5-1 odds. Like most in here, unraced, and he was not an expensive horse. However, Timeform US does give him the strongest pedigree ranking in the field of 90 out of 100. And he has some decent works to back it up as well. Also, number 7, Prince of Del Mar, going to try to make his name a reality tomorrow. And his sire, Sir Prancelot, has 12% winners for 2-year-old first-time starters. And that's the best first-time starter sire stat in the field. I really like his workout on August 24th, where he ran 3 furlongs in 35 seconds. As a general rule of thumb, I like to see horses run each furlong in 12 seconds. So when I see somebody running faster than that, it really piques my interest. He's also had 3 siblings that have made the track, and one of them did win on debut.
What makes the 5 races that we're previewing right now so challenging, 4 of them are these baby races. So as you mentioned, Alexa, we don't have as much information on the Timeform US profile cards, on the past performances. We don't have as many races to look at. We're just going off of pedigree. for a lot of these horses. What were their dams and their sires like? Where were they good? How good were their barns, the trainers getting these horses ready early on? How have they been working out in the mornings? Alexa likes the 4 and the 7. I'll mention the 8, Steak Fries, who has experience. So while he didn't show a lot of talent in that debut, he's way better in the mornings and he's faster. I think he'll show more early speed there. To the outside, War is Hell. The dam was 2 for 3 on the grass, and there's a lot of grass in the pedigree. So I wouldn't be shocked to see this horse actually be a little bit better on the green. I'll mention the 2 horses to the outside. So we're going to go 4 deep, Alexa, 4, 7, 8, 10 to try to get things started in race number 1 on Saturday at Del Mar. But it'll come down to our single in race number 2. As we go back and forth and we kind of talk about who we like, we'll usually send each other our selections. And right away, this one kind of was an easy single because we both had the same horse on top in here, Alexa, with Uncle Reg. 2 starts back at Los Al. He was a winner against the starter allowance group, a 50 starter allowance group. That race would stack up really well in here. So we don't have a big price in here, but we both feel like the 5 Uncle Reg is very logical in this spot.
Yeah, he is logical in this spot. So, like you said, we're singling him. We're going to spread a bit more in race 3, which is another, like you said, 2-year-old race. I like number 8, Cool Air, 6-1 odds. And this horse was bred in Ireland and has run one time, which was in Ireland. So he's new to the States. His new connections are trainer Phil D'Amato and Umberto Rispoli. And when these two team up, they've been winning 23% of the time at Del Mar, which is pretty hot right now.
Yeah.
And also number 10, Curvino, 5-1 odds. This is one of the few in here that has run before and has actually run twice. Both of those were on dirt, so this is his first attempt on turf, but 3 out of his 4 siblings who have tried turf have won. So the pedigree is there for it. His speed figures need to improve a bit to compete, but I do think the surface change could get that improvement for him.
And when you're putting together a pick 5, a lot of it has to do with how you want to map your ticket out. Which races are you going to maybe go a little bit more bold? Which races are you going to do what me and Alexa did in race number 2? Maybe you'll go a little bit more formful, a little bit more logical. This is a race where we're going to take a couple swings. We're going to throw one big downfield. I'll give you as many sports puns as possible here on Sports Grid on a Friday. As race number 3, we'll try to beat Kings Road, who will probably be the favorite in that race. That's the number 4 for trainer Bob Baffert. So the 2 horses Alexa mentioned, and then the 1, 2, and 3 will all be on our ticket. There'll be bigger prices in there. Zabo, Video Review, and Ironman Cal, who has a race of experience. So 1, 2, 3, 8, and 10 for us in race number 3 as we move on to the next leg of the sequence, Alexa. This one is that Del Mar debutante. We previewed this field a little earlier and we went horse by horse, but why don't you let the folks know who do we have in this race on our ticket?
Yeah, you guys heard our deep dive, but who we're including on the ticket is that big favorite to Nooney, the $1.8 million undefeated favorite for trainer Bob Baffert. Number 4, Vodka with a Twist, who recently got second place behind Nooney, and the other Baffert in here, number 6, Tenma, who has the pace advantage being a closer in a race with a fast pace.
To close things out, race number 5 is the final leg of the pick 5 sequence. It is the Del Mar Juvenile Fillies turf. So we'll see these young fillies going long on the grass. Alexa, we are going to go 3 deep in here. Why don't you talk about the first couple that we'll use?
Yeah, we're going to use the number 2, Thought Process. Should be a 9-5 favorite in here. Time From Us gives them the best late pace rating in here and a fast pace to set up for her. She's run 2 times, both at Del Mar, and the first was a disappointment on the dirt, but then switched to turf and just dominated the race. So closing and winning. So she has a number of really fast workouts as well in preparation for this. Also, will include the number 7, Super Speed. Has run 1 time and won. They're stretching out 3 furlongs, which is a pretty big jump. You don't see a horse all the time stretch out that distance in one race, but does have the fastest early speed by quite a lot. So the question really is if she can make the distance. But she is by Justify, and they've been doing very well going longer distances. Time From Us does have him winning the race.
We also will throw in a price, Anchor Dub, the number 3, who beat a field of 15 other rivals in the career debut in Ireland. So that was really impressive to me. We wanted to throw in one price horse at least to have a little value in case. And here's how our ticket all comes together, Alexa. It's a $90 play. Remember, if you want to find out how much it will cost you, you multiply the amount of horses you use in each race. So in race number 1, we use 4 horses. We only have 1 in race number 2. In race number 3, we use 5. So we'll go 4 times 5, that's 20. 3 horses in the 4th, 20 times 3 is 60, and then 60 times 3 is 180. Divide that by 2. So for all of you out there, I can do quick math, but Alexa, you're even nicer than me. You're going to give the folks out there a gift. Tell them about the promotion we have for the SportsGrid viewers.
Yeah, all our SportsGrid viewers can try our product, this awesome visual interactive Timeform US product we've been showing you on the screen for free. Just head over to drf.com/sportsgrid and use promo code SGTF24 to get your free race card.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Buccola. Right hand right back from Mike Perry. Now 3-0 in BKFC.
Could I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. I'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City, Utah, folks. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Perry on the turn. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
For our final segment, we head over to Kentucky Downs. There is huge money up for grabs. Alexa, when I look through the past performances, it doesn't even seem real to see the purses of all these races. The maiden races run for like $170,000 purses. There's $200,000 allowance races. And all of the stakes races that we're going to talk about in the next few minutes have a $2 million purse. So if you're a turf horse of any quality right now, you're running at Kentucky Downs because there's just huge money up for grabs.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. People are shipping horses from other countries to come try to get some of this juicy purse money this weekend. So the first race of those 6 big stakes races is it's race 6 on the card, and it's grade 3 ladies marathon going 1 mile and 5/16 on the turf. Turf's the only surface at Kentucky Downs for 3-year-olds. And the number 6 Vergara is my favorite in here, going to be 3.5 to 1. You know, horses really do have a love-hate relationship with Kentucky Downs, and she loves it. She's run over the course twice and won both times, including the Dueling Grounds Oaks in 2022 and this race last year. So, you know, since then they've increased the purse from $900,000 to $2 million. And her trainer Graham Motion said this race is the reason why they have not retired her to be a broodmare. She's coming back to try to defend it and bring home that money. But aside from her, the number 2 Chop Chop is also of note. She'll be the favorite and has hit the board every race for her last 8 starts. She's also run over Kentucky Downs surface once when she was 2 years old and did win that race, giving her a shot at the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Championships in 2022.
What makes this style of turf course at Kentucky so unique is that it's a deep, kind of tiring turf course. Alexa, they call it undulating. What was your nickname for it? Like a kidney? Is that what
It's
you
shaped
said?
like a kidney.
There we
Yeah,
go,
it's
right?
not
So
oval.
it is one of those courses that certain horses like it and they really like it, and other horses don't, and then they just don't fire at all. We move to race number 7. It's the Grade 2 Music City, 6.5 furlongs on the turf course. This race feels like you might be able to have 5 or 6 horses around 5-1. It's such an evenly matched group. There's going to be a bunch of horses all in that price range. The one that'll take the most money is probably the 9 Pounce, but the horse we're looking at is the one I actually like most. That's the 8 Buttercream Babe. She faced the boys in her last start. She was third, and she was only beaten a half length in a really good effort where she might have had a sneaky trouble trip that day. So Buttercream Babe for me, there's not a lot of speed in this race. Maybe the 3 Time to Dazzle is a horse you can upgrade a little bit. I'll hand the baton to you, Alexa, for race number 8.
Yeah, race 8 is the grade 3 million stakes, going a mile on the turf for 3-year-olds. Typically, horses really only run about once a month, but the purses here at Kentucky Downs are so big that there are a few trainers who had their horses run last week, and they're bringing them back this weekend to compete again before the end of this short meet. And there are 3 of those in here: the number 3 Irish Aces, the number 4 Cash Equity, and the number 11 Goliad. It's a tall ask for sure, but out of those 3, I do like Goliad the best for having some repeat success. He won last week by getting the lead and wiring the field. He has the fastest early speed again today. So even though it's a tougher competition, I do think he should be able to get that spot he likes. Number 10, Ancient Rome, will be the tepid favorite in here. His career is in Europe, but his trainer ships him over to the U.S. to target this meet. And so far, it's been a successful plan, as he is the defending champion in this race.
Race number 9 is the Grade 1 Franklin Simpson. Someone in here is going to be a Grade 1 winner after Saturday. It's a really unproven group. Some horses that are on my radar, you Big Bang Theory fans are going to be very excited, because Howard Wolowitz is actually my top selection, and a horse who was completely buried down on the inside. He had traffic trouble to deal with. I think he fits really well. Would not be shocked to see them get aggressive there. I had this race on my personal top selection stacked 10-8-4. I expect to see Yellow Card show an improved effort, a little bit of trouble last time out, and Please Advise, I think, fits very well in here. Alexa, race number 10, set us up for the Turf Cup.
Yep, the Grade 2 Turf Cup. This one is a Breeders' Cup win-in-you're-in challenge race. So whoever wins this race gets their paid way to the World Championships in November. It's going to be a fast pace, and it's going to be set by number 4, Get Smokin', which is exactly what happened last year. Get Smokin' wired the field and won, and I think he just might be able to do it again. For his win last year, he got the entry in a Breeders' Cup, and then very unfortunately injured his manhood a couple of days before the World Championships and could not compete. So, he's back and looking for a second chance, a second shot at the Breeders' Cup. He'll be 12-1 odds or more. The favorite will be number 2, Integration, who's going to take the opposite approach of Get Smokin' and put up a late rally. One other long shot to note is number 7, Tawny Port, who barely lost to Get Smokin' last out.
The 11th race will all be about Cogburn. This is a horse who set a North American record in the Grade 1 Jaipur, getting 5.5 furlongs on the turf in 59.80 seconds. I wish I could give you something more creative to try to beat Cogburn, but he's one of the better horses in training right now. He didn't love Kentucky in his only start there, so maybe that could be the knock. But as we finish up this edition of the Weekend Preview, Alexa, let the folks again know one more time where they can find these great Timeform US past performances.
Yes, please head over to drf.com/sportsgrid and use code SGTF24 to get your free card.
Thanks so much, folks. We'll be back with another edition of the Weekend Preview next week.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Carlos Alcaraz has won the last 2 Grand Slam titles at the French Open on the clay and at Wimbledon earlier this summer. He enters as the favorite.
You have a bunch of depth there. Francis Tiafoe, Ben Shelton, they will likely play in round 3. The winner would play Djokovic most likely, which would be an incredible match. I like Ben Shelton as a sleeper. If Djokovic is hurt, you never know. I think Shelton could actually be the guy that gets hot. The conditions favor him.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Forever.